What if the US suddenly controlled the largest oil reserve on Earth, Venezuela, and gas prices here in America could go down or up? Today we're breaking down what happens to US gas prices if the US controls Venezuela's oil in the simplest way possible, like I'm explaining it to a 5-year-old. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world, even bigger than Saudi Arabia. But for years, Venezuela couldn't send much oil out because its oil companies were broken and sanctions made it hard. Then, the US military removed Venezuela's president, saying they want to fix the oil industry and start selling its oil. So now people wonder, will gas prices in America go way down because of this new oil supply? Here's the first big thing to know. Even if the US controls the oil reserves, it won't instantly flood gas stations with cheap gas. First, Venezuela's oil fields have been broken for years. Pipelines, machines, and refineries are old and need billions of dollars and lots of time to fix. So in the short term, gas prices might not change much because you can't fix a huge oil field overnight. But here's the second part. If the US really restores Venezuela's oil production and starts exporting lots of barrels to the US, this means more oil supply for the world. More oil supply usually means prices go down, because when there's more of something, people don't have to pay as much for it. Think toys on sale when there are many of them. But here's the tricky part. Venezuela currently produces very little oil compared to the rest of the world. So even if it gets bigger, it might take years before prices drop a lot. Also imagine this. If Venezuela starts selling a lot of oil, countries like Canada might have to lower their prices too to stay competitive, and that could help push gas prices down even more. But here's the really important conclusion most experts agree on right now. Controlling Venezuela's oil might lower US gas prices, but only a little at first and only over a long time, not instantly. And here's the real question nobody can answer yet. Will this actually end up making gas cheaper than before, or will global politics, wars, and old oil infrastructure stop it? Now let's talk about something very important: how gas prices are actually decided. Gas prices don't only depend on one country's oil. They depend on the whole world's oil supply and demand. Even if the US controls Venezuela's oil, America already gets oil from many places like Canada, Mexico, and its own oil fields. So Venezuela is like adding one more water bottle into a big swimming pool. Helpful, but not magical. That means gas prices could drop a little, but don't expect gas to suddenly become super cheap overnight. Let me explain with a super simple example. Imagine there are 10 pizza shops in a town, and pizzas are expensive. Now a new pizza shop opens. Prices might go down a bit because there is more pizza available. But pizza won't suddenly become free, because the other 10 shops are still there. Oil works the same way. And there is another big issue, which is politics. Even if the US controls Venezuela's oil, other countries might not like it. That could create global tension. And global tension sometimes makes oil prices go up instead of down. So the result is not guaranteed. Now let's talk about you, the normal person buying gas every week. If Venezuela's oil starts flowing to the US, you might see small drops in gas prices over time. That could mean cheaper road trips, lower transport costs, slightly lower prices for goods. But don't expect miracles like $1 gas again. If the US controls Venezuela's oil, more oil supply equals possible lower gas prices. But fixing Venezuela's oil system takes time. So prices might drop slowly, but not instantly. And global politics can still change everything. Here's the big takeaway. Controlling oil doesn't automatically mean cheap gas. It just gives the US a better chance at lowering prices in the future. And the real question is, will this move actually help regular people like us? Or is it just global politics playing another big game? If you want more simple explanations like this about world economics, finance, and how global events affect your money, then subscribe now. But before you go, let me give you one last super simple thought. Oil is like the blood of the world economy. If oil becomes cheaper, many things in life become cheaper too, like food, transport, and products. And if oil becomes expensive, everything feels expensive. That's why this Venezuela oil situation is so important, even if you don't live in the US. Because global oil prices affect everyone. So the short answer to our big question is, US controlling Venezuela's oil could lower gas prices, but slowly, carefully, and not by magic. And now you understand this topic better than 90% of people on the internet. If you enjoyed this simple economics breakdown, comment below. Do you think gas prices will really drop? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.